Okay, good morning. Sorry, guys. So it seems that I didn't realize I wasn't recording, and I cleaned up the messy old line art and had that all done and started coloring, and I realized, oh wait, I didn't hit record. So you missed a lot of it. Here I'm just doing block coloring. I am just coloring in the base colors, making sure it's all in there, erasing the outline. This is the point where I go through and I erase all the outlines, around the edges and clean it up a little bit. Sorry, allergies are getting me today. Um, but no, so I've had too much of my work be accused of being AI, and I'm like, okay, I gotta make a video to prove, look, hey, this is me doing it. Um, and not AI. There are a few parts in the video where I do use AI. One of them is once I do the shading, I hop into AI and I say, hey, can you, smooth out my highlights of my shading? Of course, I got to argue with it for 20 minutes to get it to do it, but this dragon alone took about 2 hours after I started recording. I don't know before that. I think it took another 45 minutes to an hour. Um, but here I'm just cleaning up the green and, going through and because right now it just looks like a hot mess. So once I get done with these guys, they're going to be up on my Etsy store. But I'm going to actually print them out. I have sticker paper, vinyl sticker paper here at home, and I'm going to print out all five of the dragons because this is a set. There's five dragons in this set called the Blight Dragons. And they're actually from a story that I started writing. And this is the boss one. I wanted it to be Hydra, but I was having issues trying to draw it, so I asked ChatGPT to help me, get the body right. I had the head right, and I had the body right, but I couldn't get the neck right. It was driving me crazy. And that's usually when I use AI. It's like, come on, help me. Because I can't get this. It's driving me nuts. Um, some people consider that cheating. I don't. I use it as a tool, you know. But and it went from a Hydra to a trying different poses, standing up, sitting down. Nothing was working. And I ended up making it a water Hydra at one point. Um, and that started to look a little bit better, but then I just finally gave up on the project. But now that I want to put these on Etsy, I'm just like, I'm just doing the dragon head, each one. Um, so this is kind of how I'm doing it. I go through and I clean up the line art and I do just block color. Usually I do a little bit neater than what I did on here, but I was kind of just like, oh, screw it. I'm just going to do it. Gotta get the teepees. Can't have them all gray. Um, See, now it's starting to really come together. You'll see there's a few parts where I clean up like lines that I might have missed or, you know, see, my art tablet's actually packed up and I'm just, so I can't really use my pen. So everything I'm doing it with a mouse. And anybody that's colored with a mouse knows how much of a pain in the butt it is, especially if your hands shake. I can't draw a straight line to save my life with a mouse. So lately, yes, I have been using AI to just clean up my line art. And then I have to go through and clean up the cleanup because it likes to add a whole bunch of stuff. So, okay, here's where I start adding the highlights. Oh, wait, I gotta get the teepees first. Um, but after this is when I start adding the highlights and the shading and stuff like that. I started playing around with like a little bit of texturing. And I didn't like how it was looking, so I just kind of quit. I don't like the scale brushes I have. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Yeah, you can see where I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll just put some decorations on, and just nothing was looking right. And you can see I'm starting to lag here, so I have to save it, close it, open it back up. Yeah, I liked it, but then I just got rid of it. I was like, yeah, nope. This is when I start adding the shading. But see, like I said, I save it, I close it, I start it back up. Because for some reason, Photoshop decided it's going to start lagging on me after a while. Um, and here I am cleaning up a little bit of the line art again that I missed. I, oh, I need more coffee for this, I can tell you that much. My allergies are killing me this morning. We've had some crazy winds and a weird storm system that supposedly moved in, but we never got any rain. We just got some really bad winds. Of course, it just takes all the dust and just kind of scatters it everywhere. So, I'm just trying to make it blend in a little bit more. Okay, and then a little bit of highlights. Most of the time I don't add a lot of textures, but like with the football ones, I wanted those textures. I wanted those to pop. Because I know there's a lot of football fans out there. And I want each one to be a little different. I kind of want it to look like the mascot, but not get in trouble, because copyright issues. Okay, then here I'm going. Oh, I totally skipped the highlights. I guess those horns were just standing out to me. I didn't mess with the bands on the horn because I knew as soon as I said, straighten out the highlights and, shadows for me, all I ask it is to blend it. It'll add it to everything. So if I would have added the shading and highlight, it would have just overdid it. Um, but yeah, usually I don't use AI a lot. I mean, it's just like for the little things, I know I can't really do very good. And I need a little extra help because I want to hurry up and get these out and I want to get them on my shop. I mean, I could do it, but it would take me weeks to get it to where I like it because I am over picky. When it takes 30 seconds to pop it into AI and say, hey, can you do this? And it does it just the way I want it. Um, I'm not asking it to color it. I'm not asking it to draw it. I'm just asking it to smooth out the shading. I think this is where I go. Oh yeah, I was playing around with it. See, can you smooth it? Oh, that's when I gave it a PSD file. And said, nope, I can't do this. So, of course, I'm arguing with that. I didn't ask you to tell me how to fix it. Finally, it starts doing it. And this one, it actually got it on the first try, which is good. See, it's not a lot of subtle difference. On the horns, I added a little bit of detail, which I was fine because I was going to do that anyways. So now I'm going through, and this is where I'm starting to do like the finer details. Um, I couldn't quite figure out what I wanted to do. And I have this brush, it actually makes it look like metal in a way, and I kind of like it for scales. It just gives it just enough texture, but not overdoes it. You know what I mean? Um, okay, now I cleaned up the background. Gotta go through and clean up the teeth. Okay. Here I'm trying just to select the neck so I can add that texture to just the neck. Of course, this chest band, for some reason, I could not select just it. Here I realized I accidentally deleted all the black lines, so I had to undo it. It's like, nope, oh, let's undo that. Let's try something different here. At this point in time, my brain was literally in a fog. I'm just like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm messing it up. Let's not screw it up at the last minute. So, I went through and just colored over it with the same color that I already had. And then I just changed the color gray on it. And realized I had it on, I had it, like 50%, uh, opacity, so I had to change that. Then I'm like, oh my god, just nothing's working right. I was getting frustrated at this point. But I finally pushed through and I get it done. Yeah, I had a discussion with my son the other night about, like, I hate drawing. I was like, it's a love-hate relationship. I love it, but I hate it when I'm doing it because it's like, it seems like nothing ever works out properly. Um, it doesn't want to work right. Everything just doesn't go the way I want it. I'm so OCD that it just, I have issues. Once it's done, I'm happy with it, but I'm proud of the work I did. But during the process, oh my god, I'm pulling out hair, I'm screaming, I'm cussing. I don't know how many times I have to like step away from the computer and just go outside, take a deep breath, and that's just my OCD, and I'm fighting it because something's not perfect. Um, and here I go ahead and add that texture again. Uh, to the chest piece so it makes it look more metal. At this point, I'm kind of happy with it, and then I started like trying to blend in the green on the tips of the you know fins here, but of course it started lagging, so I had to save it, start it back up. Um, so here I start blending it just to soften those edges a little, make it look a little bit more natural. Now I know the chest scales need a lot of work, but I was like, I don't even care at this point. Because that's not the point people are going to be looking at. It's going to be looking at his eyes. So, yeah, add the white to the eyes, of course. Okay, now here comes the fun part when I start adding the details. And then of course, I got to erase all the parts where I don't want the details. Because I forgot to just select that layer. Or that area. But this didn't take long at all. I mean, it was pretty quick and easy. Here I was thinking about keeping that ring in the middle, but then I was like, no, it's too much. After I got everything done, I was like, nah, that's just too much. So I took that out, and then I'm like, okay, now I need to match this side, so I gotta add, you know, dots on the other side. I could have done it by hand, but I'm like, yeah, no, I'm being lazy. Uh, I'm a lazy artist. I cheat when I can. You know, and then I'm like, okay, we need some on the face, so I had this one, and, you know, I didn't want all that distraction. So this is about where it came to, and this is where I was starting to get really happy with the way it looked. I dulled those down just a little bit so they weren't like so standoff pop. Okay, and this is where I go back into AI. I ask, do you think it's Etsy ready? And it's like, yes, absolutely. And it'll actually give you suggestions on something you could do. Artist critique, all that. Which now I go back in and I start doing the cover photo, the watermark, all that. And this is pretty much where I stopped and started. I went to bed, actually. I was to the point where I just went to bed. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll try to do it with the other four too. Um, and see what you think about those. But yeah, right now I'm just like literally just trying to cover photo or cover page. That's what this is. Uh, but enjoy. Have a good one. And I am really glad that I actually got this to work today.